Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Sandy and I can't believe we're already in March. That's crazy considering I took on Gymshark66 this year. I just completed it yesterday and that's crazy to say. It felt like such a big challenge to start. But it's over with. It's done. I don't have to do it anymore. That's great. That's great. Upon finishing Gymshark66, I learned a lot of things and I was consistent throughout it, and that's wonderful. That's just more proof that I am the person I have been telling myself that I am, even if it was just small little wins. My 3 habits that I chose for Gymshark66 were drinking water first thing in the morning, reading 10 pages a day, and daily movement. So let's talk about that. What I found worked really well throughout this was drinking water first thing in the morning was so good. I had been drinking coffee since I was in 5th grade.
My mom used to give me little tiny sips of her coffee back then to wake me up, like literally a tiny sip. And then eventually as I got older, she started making me a cup of coffee with her, or she would give me what was left of her coffee, and eventually I started drinking a cup. I think that's what kind of kept it going. But
ever since I started Gymshark66, I have been drinking water first thing in the morning. I have my water bottle like everywhere with me. It's back there next to my bed because I keep a water bottle next to my bed so that first thing in the morning I chug that shit like without fail. And honestly, I think it's probably my favorite habit out of all the other ones. Ever since doing Gymshark66, which started January 1st, I haven't been drinking coffee. Like, I'll drink coffee here and there. I made a little cup of coffee today, but it hasn't been a daily thing anymore. And that's really good to know. Like, for a second there, I was like, fuck. Like, am I addicted to caffeine? Have I become the majority? But no, I'm still better than everybody else. I'm not addicted to caffeine.
Yeah.
I just really like the taste of it. But water first thing in the morning, I think, has been incredible. That I'm keeping this habit. Not only do I start my day hydrated after 8 hours of not being hydrated, but it keeps it going throughout the day. I found that starting first thing in the morning just made me thirstier throughout the day. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if there's science behind that, but I found myself drinking more water throughout the day when I started drinking water first thing, you know? So habit number 2 was reading 10 pages of a book a day. And honestly, I think this was the hardest habit to incorporate into my routine. It took a lot for me to, like, reading just wasn't on my plate, and then I found myself doing it super late after, like, I got in bed and then I was ready to go to sleep, and then I was like, fuck, I have to get up and read. It was definitely the hardest habit to implement, I think. It just didn't come naturally to me to just sit down and read. I had to really force myself to do it. And I also jumped around from, well, at least this last month, I jumped around from book to book. I have like 3 books that I'm rotating between because one book is ginormous. It's The Art of War by Robert Greene, the 33 Principles or 33 Laws of War by Robert Greene, and that book's huge. So sometimes I didn't have the capacity to read and like think, like, you know what I mean? So I would read like a low effort book, which is like, I bought this book on survival, like things you can learn about surviving. It's got like how to build a shelter, different types of wounds, poisons and stuff like that. It's actually really cool. I'm training for a post-apocalyptic world, so we have to learn how to survive. And I'm also reading like a daily beginner Italian storybook. Okay, and then habit number 3 was daily movement. I think this one came to me really naturally. Okay, I don't know if I'd say naturally. I already had a pretty solid workout routine before taking on this challenge, and I kind of wanted to take on this challenge to prove that to myself almost. What I did notice is that daily movement translated into so many things. Like, obviously I could not be giving it my all day every day. There were some days where I had absolutely zero energy, and there was days where I had to drag myself to get up and do anything, truthfully. My rest days started to look like going on walks and doing yoga, sometimes just stretching. Like, I would just stretch and like work on my flexibility, and those were my lower impact days. My higher impact days were going on a run or doing Pilates or something else, or calisthenics. So I think daily movement just kind of naturally flowed in. Where it became tricky was that I also started school. I'm going to school for animation, and animation is very time consuming. So it was very hard having to pick and choose almost. I think what I should have done is I should have gotten up earlier and worked out in the morning to get that out of the way, because I found myself having to choose at the end of the day. I would go to school and then I'd go to work, and then I would get home and I had to do homework and work out. But I found myself doing my homework, and then it was like midnight already, and then I had to do a stretch, like I couldn't go for a run at midnight. I mean, I could, but like I'm not gonna do that. I have school in the morning. So the challenge that came with working out daily wasn't the working out daily or the daily movement, it was the time management. And that's been a highlight of this entire semester. This entire semester has been time management issues. So I need to focus on that. So what worked in the Gymshark challenge? I would say what worked for me was the daily marks. Well, this was both a win and a loss, because I would forget to mark, like on the app, on the Gymshark app, you have to mark that you completed your habits, and I would forget to do that. I would forget to do that. So there was like times I'd do it at like 2 a.m. So I don't know if that even counts still, but in my heart it counts. It was real to me.
It was real to me.
But I also really enjoyed having to tick that off. It was a visual marker of accomplishment, which felt really good to the ego, and it just made me want to keep going with it. So what also worked was not letting myself be consumed by an idea of perfect, because this was the last thing this was perfect. I would forget to mark my challenges. I would read like 2 pages minimum some nights, because I could not stay awake long enough to read it, or like I was just gliding through the words rather than absorbing it. So I just counted it as a win if I picked up the book, if I opened the book, because that's still cementing an idea. It's reinforcing the idea that I'm a person that reads daily. Even if it's just 2 pages, I read every day, and it felt really good. It was really good to see that become a new habit, because there was nights where I would just flow into it. Like, I would just get in bed, pick up a book, and like read. Like, it just became a part of me by the end of it, and that was really cool to see, because that's not what I was doing last year. My workouts were also not perfect. Some nights it was just stretching for 10 minutes, but that counted to me. That was a win in my head, because again, I'm reinforcing that idea of who I am by doing these things daily. If I give 20%, I still showed up, So it was a win to me, and losing that idea of it having to be perfect was very helpful in this entire process. With that being said, I do feel like it's time for a new routine in terms of working out, because I did what I could most days. I did what I could most days. Whether it was like a 20-minute yoga, whether it was stretching, whether it was going on a run, I did what I could most days, but with no structure. So I think it's time to build a workout routine that's gonna hit all my goals for this year. So let's get started. The whole idea with incorporating a new routine is that I want to have 2 strength days, 1 athletic sprint, 1 endurance run, 1 Pilates strength / core, and 1 mobility. To me, this makes the most sense because I'm trying to build strength, I'm trying to work on endurance, I'm trying to work on speed, and I'm trying to work on my flexibility. What I have to get in my head is that this is a set routine and I can't change this. The person that I want to become doesn't try every new workout she sees on the internet. She has a set training schedule. So I have to get that in my head, whether I feel like it or not. If it's marked on my calendar, I have to do it. And that's a whole different hurdle I have to overcome. But we can work on it together. I'm just a person that wants to do a lot, unfortunately. So, I have my calendar that I found. I think I've been doing this for 2 years now. And I have found that this is the best way I can plan for my routine. So what I do is every Sunday every Sunday I sit down and I plan the workouts for that week and other stuff that I have to plan. Like if I have an appointment or something, I'll mark that in. And it's just because I'm very forgetful, and if it's not written down, I'll forget about it. So I have to write it down. I have to do that like mind muscle thing. I have to write it out on paper. It doesn't work for me if I do it digitally. It has to be on paper, unfortunately. So this is just the best way I found for myself. And I use little stickers to like mark them off daily. Recently with the whole Gymshark thing, I kind of fell off of that because I was marking it on my phone, and that was hard enough marking it on my phone for me. So I just left the sticker system for a little bit. But it's time to start the good noodle board again. We need to collect these stars. Okay? So let's get started. So the new idea with my workout routine is that I want to become a hybrid athlete. I want to just be doing everything, truthfully. Like I don't want my focus to be entirely on running marathons or entirely on calisthenics. And I mean, to some that might seem counterproductive. The idea of not putting all my energy and effort into building one thing might seem counteractive to some, but to me, I think it's what works best and keeps my interest going, and it reminds me that I'm making little improvements towards different things daily. So it's what I'm going with, okay? There's no shame in the game. Do what works for you. It's whatever. What we have is last week's routine. Did I do this? Sorta, kinda. This upper body push, I basically just did some push-ups and called it a day. I didn't have time for the whole shebang. I was like behind on a bunch of stuff. So I had to only do like a few push-ups and call it a day, you guys, okay? And then I did run a mile. Skill practice, what that means to me is I'm trying to get my LSIT right now, and I think I'm gonna start posting updates on that. It's kind of embarrassing just because I can't do it yet. Whoops, I dropped my pen. It's embarrassing just because I can't do it yet, but once I start doing it, but like I need to keep up with the progress of it. Like I need to show that progress rather than hiding and waiting until it's perfect to do it. So that's just what skill practice means to me, okay? Upper body pull and core. I think I ended up just doing core, and that left me pretty sore. It was like a 10-minute core workout by Lean Beef Patty, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I loved it. Speed and conditioning. So I swapped these 2 days, kinda. I didn't do my martial arts. I think martial arts is going to be a little bit on the back burner for right now. I'm not going to be working it as much just because my kickboxing contract just ended, and it's just not a priority right now to me. I don't think I'll eventually pick up on it, but I think I'm going to start a different martial art, whether that's jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or Taekwondo. I'm not sure, but I think next time I pick up a martial art, it'll be different. It won't be kickboxing. Not that I didn't like kickboxing. I'm just on a mission here to learn different martial arts, so that's important to me. Speed and conditioning, I did do that yesterday, which was Saturday, and I just did some sprint training. I ran from one number marker to the other, and then I walked until the next number marker, and then I sprinted again. And that was so hard, you guys. I have speed, but I can't keep it up for long. So like I can take off and then that's it. Like I die down. Moral of the story is I want to start incorporating sprint training now, because I want to work on not only on my running endurance, but my running speed. I want to eventually start doing hill sprints, which will be fun. I think I just want to do these hard things for the bragging rights of getting to say that I've done these things. I'm kidding. I genuinely want to do these things. But that's what it feels like, because, like, what's wrong with you, kid? Anyways, what did I do Friday? I don't remember what I did Friday. I think I might have gone for a walk. I think I went on a walk instead of doing speed. So, and then I just moved the speed to Saturday. Today is the 8th, and I have to do yoga today. I haven't done that yet. I think I'm going to do some, like, bedtime yoga so that I can sleep like a baby for tomorrow. So, Mondays will be lower body calisthenics. Tuesdays will be Pilates. Wednesdays, I'm going to do sprint training. And then Thursdays are going to be my yoga. Fridays, I'm going to start doing full body. Saturday, I'm going to go for a distance run. I think I'm going to keep it at a mile. And then I'll eventually keep on adding half a mile until it becomes like a challenge. I'm hoping this year I can do a 10K, which is 6 miles. So the goal is to get up to 6. To get further is fantastic, but we're building our way up to 6 this year. So I think I'm going to do 1 mile on Saturday. Sunday, we're going to do some flexibility stretches.